Our next speaker is Cindy Inverarity from Massey, and she's here to talk to us about sildenafil citrate in the mammary gland. So Cindy is a master's student at Massey. She's doing research on the effect of sildenafil citrate in sheep. Not many of us will know much about sildenafil citrate, but we will probably know the brand name of this compound as Viagra. I'm wondering how you got that expense claim through at Massey. Anyway, thanks Cindy for offering this presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Cindy Inverarity, and in December 2016 I finished my master's degree in animal science at Massey University here in Palmerston North. Along with the help from my supervisors Sam Peterson and Sarah Payne, I completed a research project which looked at the effect of sildenafil citrate administration during pregnancy on the development of the mammary gland of use. So this project was instigated following some unusual observations made in a trial done by Sam Peterson and his team. Their trial involved administering sildenafil citrate to a number of ewes, triplet-bearing ewes, to evaluate their effects it had on fetal growth of their lambs. As we've just been previously told, sildenafil citrate is commercially known as Viagra, and it is a vasodilator, so its purpose is to increase blood flow through blood vessels. Along with successfully increasing the birth weight of the lambs, Sam and his team also noticed that a number of the udders were noticeably bigger in a number of these treated ewes. And the uterus and the mammary gland both share the same blood supply in the ewe. So it was thought that possibly sildenafil affected the blood flow to the mammary gland at the same time it was increasing blood flow to the uterus, which in turn caused increased mammary tissue growth in these ewes. The amount of nutrients supplied to the mammary gland for mammary gland growth is determined by the rate of mammary blood flow, the nutrient concentration in mammary arterial blood, and the rate and extraction of nutrients from the blood. Therefore, my study examined the effects of long-term sildenafil citrate administration during late pregnancy on the vasculature and parenchymal structure of the mammary gland ewes. Vasculature is just simply the blood vessel network in the gland, and the parenchyma is the milk-secreting tissue of the gland. So the ewes in Sam's trial received either 150 milligrams of sildenafil citrate via subcutaneous injection every day from days 110 to 140 of pregnancy, or sterile water for the control ewes. Then 16 ewes from this trial were then euthanized the same day that their lambs were weaned, because lamb growth was an important aspect of the original trial. However, for my study, it meant that at the time of weaning, mammary glands were beginning to involute, which means they were becoming dry. Involution is necessary as the gland needs to regenerate and repair for a successful lactation in the next season. And during this time, there was also many structural and functional changes happening within the gland, which did become a limitation to my study. After euthanization, from each ewe, one parenchymal sample was collected, and the parenchyma, remembering, is the milk-producing tissue of the gland. These samples were then taken to the lab where a variety of variables were measured. Following data analysis of weights which were recorded from those people involved in the original trial, it was shown that mammary glands of the treated ewes were significantly, on average, 200 grams heavier than that of the control ewes. And we found that the increased weight of the gland was due to, at least in part, an increased parenchymal area. So sildenafil somehow increased the amount of milk-producing tissue in the gland. We found that sildenafil may have increased the number of mammary epithelial cells in the gland, and that is the graph on the right-hand side. So mammary epithelial cells are the milk-producing cells in the gland. So for sildenafil to have increased the number of cells in the gland was quite exciting to find. Sildenafil may have promoted mammary epithelial cell survival in the gland, so protected these cells over the involution period, or it may have increased their numbers by another yet to be identified physiological mechanism, or it may have even potentially delayed the involution process in some of these ewes. Unfortunately, we did not find any differences in the blood vessel architecture of the glands, but due to a number of limitations in this study, it is likely that we did not find a true representation of the effects of sildenafil citrate on the gland. Therefore, I was able to conclude that administration of sildenafil citrate during late pregnancy did not cause permanent changes in the mammary vasculature when measured during involution, but parenchymal area of the gland was increased due to a combination of sildenafil increasing the number of cells in the gland as well as increases in the alveolar area. And considering mammary epithelial cells and milk-producing cells, these novel observations about sildenafil citrate in this study may be highly relevant to discovering ways of increasing milk production in small ruminants. And although we face many limitations in this study, due to the trial not being specifically designed for this research, it has indicated that increasing blood flow to the ewe udder may increase milk production in these animals. And if this compound were to be considered for use in production systems, it would be highly valuable if research into methods of administration was looked at, because sildenafil has a very short half-life. Therefore, further research examining the effects of sildenafil citrate in the mammary gland is warranted. Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy. We have a question down the back here. All right.
Thank you. Will you investigate whether the drug will end up in the milk?
I wasn't able to look at that because the ewes were not milked during the trial, but that is something that would definitely be of interest in further investigation.
I think for milking sheep, that would be the first thing I would want to know, if it transfers into the milk.
The half-life of sildenafil is only a few hours, and so our treatment ended 10 days before the start of lactation. So the chances are that there would be none there, but we didn't measure it.
Thank you. Any further questions? Thank you, Cindy.